Welcome back, another coaching related video. The last one went really well, the feedback was incredible. You certainly loved all the theory and the reasoning behind it, and today what we're going to do is going to have a look at a video of how we can apply this to a practice drill, how we can find that progression, and ultimately how we can find that little bit extra on top of what we already now know. Overload, progression and purpose, the three things we looked at in the last video. And we don't want a personal best chase, we don't want to rapidly overload. So we need to add a fourth thing in here this week, which is going to be sustainable. I think that's how you spell it. If not, it is today, it's not a spelling lesson. So overload, progression, purpose and sustainable or sustainability. That's what we need to find within our drill. And to do that, we need to make sure that the jumps of which we are doing are relevant. There's no point in standing at the bottom of the stairs and trying to jump to the second floor. We need to climb the staircase. And that's what we need to do here. There's a lot of examples, and the game we're going to do today, Around the World, is a great example of that, where we rapidly progress it too much. We go from, I'm going to use the whole of the number one segment where I've got the small and the big single. That's the bit underneath the treble and the bit between the treble and the double. The treble itself and the double. I use that whole corridor. And because I can do that now, I'm either going to dart count and see how many darts I can do it and try and beat my personal best, or I'm just going to move on to the doubles, and I'm just going to try and do it on the doubles. I'm going to try and do it on the trebles. And the rate of progression is too big that it doesn't become sustainable, and with that, we don't get to see those developments coming into play. And to get that, gamification, levels. Now we can look at results, we can track data, we can follow these, but this is a way of monitoring things. It's not a way of seeing that progression has worked. What we need to do is we need to alter the content, make the content harder, which will show your level has improved. You track those levels, you go up those levels, I guarantee you as a byproduct your average is getting better. But the average is a byproduct, not something we focus on. We don't focus on the average, going how do we improve that? We focus on the content, the average gets better. So let's work, here we go. Level 1. This is how most of you will play the game already. You're just going to go around the board hitting targets 1 to 20. When you hit it, you move on. As we know, comfort zone. Progression, level 2. You've got 3 chances now on every single target. So you've got 3 lives. When you're on a number, you're on single 10. You miss 10, you miss 10, you hit it, you move forward to 11, you get the lives back. So the lives are always going to regenerate. If you miss all 3 lives on a certain target, you're going to drop back 1 space. So if you miss 3 darts at 11, you drop back 1 number to the 10. It's quite obvious where we're going after that, isn't it? We're going to reduce the amount of opportunities I've got to miss. I've got 2 chances to miss before I drop back a space. I've got 1 life to miss before I drop back a space. Before we take a look at level 5, no lives. So now miss is backwards, hit forwards. Look what we've just done. Look what we've just created. We've now just created a world by level 5 where every dart matters. If I miss, there's repercussions, I'm moving backwards. If I hit, I move forwards. I've now just found that purpose. Remember last week we defined the purpose as the win and the lose? So if we think about that sort of win-loss criteria, we now have every dart matters. Now when you're playing a game of darts, every dart matters. And I see a lot of people that say about the psychology. They struggle in a game, they don't play a game the same as they do practice. Well, now you do, because in a match, every dart matters. Every dart you throw matters because it's got a number attached to it, which will give you an outcome based on what you want. You're getting closer to winning the match, you're letting the opponent back in, whatever that may be. We've now created that because every dart is going to matter in this practice session. If you hit 3, you move forward 3. If you miss 1 and hit 2, you're not moving forward as far. Every dart counts. Brilliant. We're progressing. It's sustainable because it's something that you can keep moving forward with. Level 6, your 3 lives are back. Same rule as before, where if you hit something, you regenerate those lives. So we're playing the round before. Hit, you move forward, miss, you move back. 3 lives. So 10. Miss 10, drop to 9, 2 lives. Miss 9, drop to 8, 1 life. Now, if you hit 8, you go back to 9 and you get your 3 lives again. So you regenerate your lives every time successful. If you miss the 8 and you run out of lives, lose. Purpose, lose. Fear the loss. You've lost the drill, you start back on 1 and you go again. And you go round, same thing. Hit, you move forward, miss, you move back, miss 3 in a row, you lose the drill. We're making it harder. It's progressing. Always looking to find that purpose, always looking to progress in a sustainable manner. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have the restriction of time. When you play a game of darts, you don't have unlimited time. Your time to complete your leg of 501 is dictated by your opponent. We're not in control of that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to give you 20 lives to start with. We're going to play the game as we've just done before. Miss 3 in a row, you lose, you start again. Hit, you move forward, miss, you move back. But now, every time you lose, we're going to restrict your time. So, again, example, you're on 10 with your 3 lives. You miss 10, you drop back to 9, you've got 2 lives there, you lose 1 here. You miss the 9, you drop to 8, you've got 1 life left there, you lose 1 here. You hit the 9, the 8, sorry, you're back to 9, you've got your 3 lives again. But now we've got less time. So we're moving forward, we're moving back, we've got the fear of the loss here. We can also lose by running out of lives. So it's a timed exercise now as well. So again, we've made it harder. We're still playing around the board. We've just changed the content so many times that now we've found the purpose. So the priority here, progression, purpose, winning and losing, that's in there. Every dart matters. A move forward and move back, repercussions, fear in the miss, benefit in the win. Now, we've looked at sustainable today. How do we make this sustainable? How do we keep this progression? How do we make sure that we're progressing at the right rate, the rate of growth? Very important. I say 7 out of 10, 70% is sort of the baseline number. If you're winning this drill once, don't move it on. If you're winning more than you're losing, we're getting towards that 7, 8 out of 10 sort of mark. It's starting to get to the point it's becoming easy. You're starting to become your level, and we want to progress, so we need to overload. So to overload, we need to change the content, make it harder. Always look at adjusting the content. Don't find yourself in that trap that we've discussed before of counting. Right, can I do this drill in 30 darts? Can I do it in 27 darts? That's not how we're going to get that progression. So look at those restrictions, look at the way we've done that in this video, and apply them to any drill. You can adjust the content in any drill. Always look to adjust the content. If you've got a progressive input, you're going to get a progressive output. If you feel like you've hit the wall, make sure you're getting this within your practice. And there's a great example right here. If you're still not quite getting it, guys, I do offer one-to-one sessions, not just on practice, but also on the technical side of the game as well. Right here in Daventry or online, you can get me on the email address down below or in the description of this video. I'll be back next week with another video looking at your darts and how you can improve your game. If you don't want a session, the best thing to do is just hit that subscribe button. I guarantee we're going to get better.